Okay, so we are building a, this is a tutorial for building a natural vivarium, or terrarium, whatever you want to call it. I'm doing this for the new chondro. This is a, I believe a 15-gallon tall, little cracked in the back because my dad had a heat lamp on the glass because he had it laying sideways for king snakes, because I traded that for that exoterra the Amazons are in. So I'm going to clean this puppy out, and then I'll begin the tutorial. Alright, so now that we're all clean, I got a piece of screen here, and basically what I did for that, instead of buying a whole roll of screen, Walmart sell these little window screens that you stick in an open window. Basically, took a razor, stuck it on the lid, and cut it to the inside dimensions of the thing. Making that easy. And then after that, I got the tripod set up now. After that, I bought ZooMed hydro balls. They're expanded clay balls that are to help with drainage. What you're gonna do, get a cup. That's what they look like. Kind of look like Cocoa Puffs. You're going to spread them out evenly. Your hand's all dirty. And then, now before all this, I got to backtrack a little bit, sorry. This is a grapevine that I just actually went and cut. I have a bunch of grapevine out here. Down here in South Carolina, we have some trees that have these, it's grapevine-like wood. I just cut these, 3 of them. These are about a foot and a half in length. And normally when you buy grapevine, you don't have to worry about it as far as freezing goes. But because I cut this off of a tree, I'm going to freeze it for a period of 24 hours to get rid of any parasites I might have to worry about. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now, actually. And that's just going to kill anything that might potentially harm whatever snake you're building this for. And I'll actually turn this to the side so you can kind of get an idea of what it is. I could actually probably put more in there if I wanted to. And then the idea of the hydro balls is you're going to take this mesh, put it on top, put your topsoil on that, and then I got some cypress mulch as well. That's going to be the 3rd layer on there. Let's see. Just to give you an idea. And then something else that I'm going to do is take a piece of PVC pipe, like this guy, and it's going to go in one corner behind whatever plant it is that I want to use. And this way, if I need to get water through all the hydro balls and through all the layers of soil, all I have to do is pour water into that PVC pipe, and it'll diffuse throughout the substrate there. This is going to be all natural. Vines are going to be real. There's going to be live plant, which is the one right here. the type of palm. You get them at Walmart for pretty cheap. Sweat like a pig. The only thing you'll have to worry about is cutting a hole for the PVC pipe there. In the mesh, that is, in this guy. I'll do right now. A square piece. That should be good enough. Oh, that's perfect. Man. Come here. Check this out. You'll notice how it just fits perfectly around the PVC pipe. That's with the mesh on it. And the plant roots, let me go ahead and cover the plant right now. Get that in focus at all, not happening. This is a Neanth Bella. Scientific name is Chamaedorea elegans, and it's a highlight. It's a sort of palm. I've used them with carpet pythons before, way back when. They work. They look good. It's a nice tropical looking plant, and that was something I was going for with this chondro cage, or something that looks natural, or something that would reflect their natural habitat. And so I got that tacky little water dish. It's a coconut. And the only reason I got that is because it was like $2 at PetSmart on clearance. Me being the bargain shopper and everything. And so that'll go something like in here. After all the layers are on. Instead of buying $10 worth of cypress mulch that I won't use, I got the hermit crab kind. Bargain shopping. Bargain shopping. Now, one thing you'll notice in this latest issue of Reptiles magazine is that they say that cypress mulch is something to be avoided. And that's partially true. If you're feeding whatever herp it is that, you know, is on this substrate in the cage, it is harmful. If it gets ingested, it is really going to block them up. With green trees, hopefully, what I try to do, at least with my Morelia pythons especially, just because they seem to be a little bit more on top of the game, is I take them out to feed, just because they're a little bit smarter than, say, the Amazons are. And they get really, really well acquainted with tank feeding. Once they just know you're doing it, they get used to it. Alright, so now I got some topsoil, unfertilized, and see if I can pick out some of the bigger sticks and stuff that are... Whoa, spider, what is that? I don't want it to be bigger stuff, but you do what you gotta do. Any roots that you might get. Am I even keeping this in frame? Yeah. So once you kind of clear it out a little bit, we gotta tackle this plant. which means we gotta go wash out this dirt because this dirt has fertilizer in it. Alright, once you got most of the dirt removed from the base of the plant, you can go ahead and place it in there. In this case, we're going to have to break it up a little bit, which is a problem. You got to split it up a little bit. If it's not an issue. I have to trim some too. Click. What I'm doing is digging out a bit of the corner here to put one of the stalks of plant. Topsoil there around it. Break off a little bit more. Dig it in there. The objective here is to, like I said, cover up the PVC pipe back there a little bit. That way it's not as visible. And that's about all I need right now, because I want one side to kind of be a little bit more foliated and then the other side to be a little bit clear. So I'll have a high end of a stick on this side and a high end stick on this side. Snake can bask over here, and then when it feels like it needs to, you know, go hide out somewhere, I'll have a stick going through the middle of that bunch, and then he can kind of hide in there and feel a little bit more secure. So then we're just going to continue to fill in dirt on the other side. Not necessarily as much, you just want enough to have the snake happy. Or the plant's happy. That should be enough right now because we still have to add our layer of cypress, which I will do right now. A common misconception that I don't really like about natural vivariums is people assume that they're going to cost them an arm and a leg. And honestly, all the supplies, like you could have something like this built, tank and all, depending on what kind of tank you got, for less than $100, easy. It's really all about the bare necessities, and I don't even think I'll need the other bag of cypress. It's good because it's nice to have around. Over there. And you should be able to see definitive layers in that. Like you can see the hydro balls, the soil, and then the mulch. That's what you want. And I'll put a little bit more on this side where the soil is a little bit thinner. The only thing is that when you're using a narrower tank like this, having taller plants like that and a heat source can be asking for trouble as far as potential fire hazards. Grainy plants obviously aren't going to burn very well because there's so much water in them they're practically fire resistant. It's just you gotta make sure you keep them trimmed. This isn't like the pothos. The pothos and the exoterra with the Amazons isn't an issue because that one isn't really growing up. It's more growing out. These little palms, they're gonna grow up. And I think I'm not going to use that coconut water bowl just because I think it's just going to get in the way too much. It's going to be too bulky unless I trimmed it. And even then it's going to go on this clear end here. Okay, as you can see I added a water bowl. And I found a piece of pet store variation grapevine that I'm going to cut about here and also freeze for good measure. Alright, so we got everything planted. All our wood set up. This is temporary wood. I decided not to go with that grapevine because I'm kind of more concerned about its molding capabilities being wet. So I'm going to try and get some driftwood from a better source. This is not driftwood. Whatever people tell you, this is not driftwood. This is grapevine. And grapevine molds under high humidity fairly easily. So this is a temporary fix. Obviously we don't mind. I put a bendivine across, that way he can perch over here in the plants if he wants to, because he kind of had a hard time getting over there. But let me see if you can see the layers. Hydro balls, the soil, mulch, our palms, and this. And all this is going to run you, cost of tank and everything, you're looking at probably in the ballpark of about $70. And that's pretty much it. There's the PVC pipe that you can't see. There's the Brachypelma vagans there eating on a cricket. And that's pretty much everything.